Hello, and welcome to the final season of Stranger Things reactions. So just a quick note, you're going to be seeing this at the beginning of every episode because originally I had planned on doing every episode in one video. I did not film them all in one video, but I did record them with the intent that I would put them all together as just one big 4-hour Stranger Things 5 fest. And guess who didn't like that? Netflix. Netflix did not like that at all. And so that video just did not work. Luckily, I still have all the files, obviously. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be uploading them like a normal reaction. So you're just going to get 8 episodes of each. And we're just going to go over them. So if there's any point where you're like, man, Alex, you're a friggin' idiot, it will be of no use because I have already recorded all the episodes so far. So, or all 8 episodes that have been produced of Stranger Things 5. So yeah, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna film like a bunch of segments here because I didn't film intros before any of the episodes. So we're just gonna do that basically. I did film an intro for the first episode, so you'll see that in just a second. And also, all of these now have to be highlight reactions because none of these work on YouTube. And this is like the 3rd time I've tried uploading these. Anyway, reaction link is in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure for all 8 episodes. Just want you to know that anyway. But so if at any point I say in these videos I say, boy, I'm glad I'm doing this, as one video and not 8, then you can just giggle to yourselves, as will I. So the other thing that I wanted to point out, because I actually did a different video, a different segment before this video, where I basically wanted to warn people that I think I was a little too harsh on this season of Stranger Things. There are a lot of points that I make that are valid points. I think I stand by them, but there are other times where it's like, okay, clearly I'm just being exasperated for camera and I don't really need to be that harsh to the season. So, if there are moments where you think, God, this guy's being too harsh, I probably agree. So with that said, why don't we just jump right into episode 1? Here we go. Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Stranger Things. Holy moly, we are finally back with the final season of Stranger Things. Last time around, I don't even remember what the last episode was. Oh, it was like the piggyback or something. The only reason I remember that is because I just looked up when the last episode was, like when I watched this last. And 2022. 2022 was when we last watched Stranger Things. Good lord. We don't need to go off on the whole formatting of this show. I saw like a quote where like the Duffer Brothers were saying like, oh yeah, it's better to like release things and put a lot of distance between, put a couple years between seasons and stuff like that. And it's like, man, nobody cares anymore. Who cares about Stranger Things? I'm being a little harsh. I'm being pretty harsh because, honestly, I did really enjoy the last season. So I'm hoping that keeps up here and, we get through this season and we're all golden. So, I don't know. It's just the wait. And then I can see on here this first episode is 71 minutes long. Like, come on, guys. Either hire an editor or, like, figure out a better place to cut these. I don't know. Anyway, all of that aside, though, like I said, I did enjoy Season 4 of Stranger Things. To tell you what exactly happened last episode, I didn't rewatch anything before this. So if I misremember a few things, then you're just going to have to tough it out with me. So what I do remember is Vecna. I like Vecna. He's our new main villain. They ditched the Mind Flayer, basically, because they were like, wait, this guy isn't... The Mind Flayer isn't like a character, so how do we make him the main villain? And they were like, just make it Vecna instead. And it's like, okay, well, I like Vecna more. Vecna was after Max. 11 fought Vecna. Dr. Brenner died for real this time. There was a stoner. And then there was the greatest thing to ever happen to this show, Eddie. And then Eddie died. and everyone was disappointed by that because everyone loved Eddie. Eddie was great. Everyone loved Eddie. And instead of killing off or getting rid of any of the superfluous characters, because there's too many characters in this show, instead they kill off one of the only interesting characters that the show actually has. So, and with that, welcome to Season 5. You may have noticed, and I should probably bring this up, you may have noticed that this video is long. Very, very long. This is the whole season, guys. We're doing the whole season. Now, I'm not doing it all in one go, like, on camera. Like, I'm not watching everything. I'm not recording everything back to back to back, but I've just decided to kind of... basically, I don't really have the time to make this, a weekly thing like we used to, because I've got other shows going on, and, there are other shows that are coming back soon. And so I just didn't have the time to do this weekly. So what I'm doing is basically I'm just watching this whenever I can. I happen to have some free time this afternoon, so I was like, okay, let me do the first episode, and then the next time I get some free time, I'm going to do the next episode. But in order to make this, a somewhat decent viewing experience, I'm just going to put every episode in one video. I did that recently with a Torchwood video, and people seem to enjoy it, and I certainly enjoyed having that kind of format, and I'm kind of thinking of doing that for some other stuff in the future. But, yeah, that is pretty much it. So, once we start going, we're going to go. And, now, that said, it's not going to be too different because we're going to react to the episode, probably the same amount that I normally do. And then we are going to do a discussion after each episode, like I normally do. It's just, you don't have to click off and... Oh god, excuse me. You don't have to click off and wait for the next episode to go up. It's just all right here. You can enjoy this, You can bump up the speed if you want, but by golly, I don't blame you if you bump up the speed on my videos. I bump up playback speed on pretty much everything I watch nowadays, so I don't blame you if you do that. But, yeah, kick back, relax, grab some popcorn, a sandwich, a drink, get cozy. I don't know when on earth I'm releasing this. Probably sometime in January, like late January or February, but that's still winter. So you can kick back, relax, have a good time, do it in multiple, trips if you, do this in multiple viewings if you want. There's also the full length that's available over on my Patreon. It'll have every episode of this season. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the final season of Stranger Things. Here we go. Alrighty. Like I said, full length, the discussions for each episode are going to be back on the YouTube video. So you can head there if you want. If not, stay tuned for the next one. Alrighty, Season 5, Episode 1. Oh, boy. I don't know, I feel like he could have cut 10 minutes off of that, but whatever. Okay, I mean... See, that's the thing, is, like, as much sass as I give this show now, like, I still enjoy it, I don't think I enjoy it as much as I originally did, like back in the first 2 seasons when we watched those, but I mean, I still enjoy it. It's just, did this have to take 3 years to get to? I don't know, man. I will say, like, I'm really trying, but my god, their ages are all... It's just like, that is like the biggest thing that kind of takes me out of it. Is like, here's Mike, here's Mike, he's still like a freshman in high school, and it's like, no. How old is Finn Wolfhard? Finn Wolfhard is 22. Wow. So he's 6 years younger than me. Oh, boy. But yeah, he's 22. He does not look like he's, 14 or 15 at this point, And I mean, it's the same with Holly. Like, is that... I mean, here's the thing. I don't even remember Holly, like, at all. I don't think she's been a character before here. But I assume that's the same actress, but, like... she's too old to be playing an elementary school girl, Like, that's the thing. If you're going to, like, the Duffer Brothers say, like, oh, we want to keep making shows where there's, like, a 3 or 4 year wait between seasons. Like, okay, if you're gonna do that, you cannot cast children, because they're gonna grow up too fast, Okay, so we all can say, and I mean, I guess you guys have probably already seen this season, so you know all the answers. But I'm just going to assume that what Holly was seeing, the Mr. Whatsit, I assume that's... I mean, obviously, it's Vecna. I assume, though, it's his old face, though, The pre-burned, pre-gooey, pre-rotting, the face of the Orderly, not of Vecna himself. Which, I mean, you have to wonder, okay, so why does he want Holly, I mean, there's also the question of why did he want Will, Because it seems to be that Will was a part of his plan originally. It's not just that Will just happened to be taken, it's that Vecna took him specifically. I don't know how that works, so... I also don't fully understand why they need to sink the crawl. Like, that seemed to be like a big important thing, that it's like, well, as Hopper goes along, they have to track his signal in the overworld so that they can, I guess, because the way they said it was like, so they can guide him back to the portal. I mean, why not just go through the portal again, But I don't know, I mean, he has to stay down there for a long time. Maybe, I mean, I guess he must have to go through a different portal specifically, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a ton to say about this episode, because it's just like, I don't know, it's all kind of just stuff. It's either stuff that you kind of figure would have happened, or stuff that I kind of don't care about. Like, okay, so Will has learned that Robin is gay, and we established last season that he has the gay panic. He might be in love with Mike because Will hasn't suffered enough. So, I don't know, but it's just like I don't know, man. I don't really care. Like, I'm expecting there to be a moment where, Will talks about his sexuality with Robin because it's someone he can relate to. She's also gay, So it's just like it's someone he could maybe confide into. However, I don't care. It's a funny thing that you don't care about that. Like, there are other things to care about. I only also vaguely care about Dustin's whole thing with Andy. Because, like, I understand Dustin, he wants to keep fighting for Eddie. He wants to kind of clear Eddie's name, And so because of that, he's getting into trouble with the bullies, but I don't know, like, I'm slightly with them, with the guys, where it's just like, we need to be focusing on Vecna, Like, you're fighting two fights. It's not that anyone doubts that you've... it's not that anyone doubts that you aren't... nobody thinks you aren't committed to stopping Vecna, but... I don't know. It's like, and I get it. It's hard to... It's hard to deal with this, to process Eddie's death, and it's not just that the fact that Eddie died, but the fact that everybody in town, hates him. So, yeah. So there's that. And then 11 going too far, pretty much. Like, she's trying too hard. Now, I don't understand the whole, like I understand the obstacle course, to get stronger and stuff, but I don't know, I don't understand, like, well, you gotta get better, you gotta keep getting better at the obstacle course, you're not under 1230, then you can't come with me to to do all of this. The only thing I can think is that's just an excuse, basically. It's an excuse to not take her, basically. Because, yeah, it is dangerous. You know, you have the military who's after her. Sarah Connor, which I like that. I like having Sarah Connor here. Linda Hamilton. She's just so great. I mean, she's like the best part of Terminator Dark Fate. It's not a great movie. I wouldn't even say it's really good. I didn't mind it that much. But she was great. I mean, she's fun. And so just... And I like, too, that it's like, you know, it's like, oh, well, she's a part of the military. It's like, well, that makes sense. Fucking Sarah Connor. You know, you give her a gun, she'll go take down Vecna. But I like that she is also a scientist. Like, because we had Dr. Brenner, then we had Dr. Owen. That was his name, right? Which we haven't... We don't know where he is. But Brenner's dead, so it's like, oh, now we have to bring in a new scientist. And it's like... Linda Hamilton, I mean, she's fun, and hey, she's a freaking icon of the 80s, you know? Well, I guess 80s and 90s because of Judgment Day. Probably more so Judgment Day than the first Terminator even, but still. I mean, just from those two movies, she's a nostalgic icon, so that's just great bringing her in. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I understand Hopper not wanting to bring 11 because it's like, well, the entire military's after her and Vecna could be after her, but the thing is, she's the only one who can stop him, you know? Oh, my voice is wearing out. So yeah, it's like I understand, but she's going a little too hard, you know, because she feels, I mean, I think she probably feels guilty about all this, you know. And, you know, we saw in the recap, I don't know how much of that I left in, but, you know, there's that line that Vecna has where it's like, oh, you know, Papa didn't create me, you created me. And it shows, you know, her casting him into the upside down, basically. And it's like, oh, well, it's entirely possible she, you know, kind of blames herself for everything that's happened. Even though it's all Dr. Brenner's fault. Like, it's not her fault. So maybe that'll be her kind of character arc, is sort of coming to terms with stuff and, you know, moving past it. I mean, we kind of had a bit of that with, you know, her talk with Mike of like, well, you know, what are we gonna, if we manage to win, we defeat Vecna and we solve all of this, what happens after that? And it's just like, well, then we relax, you know. We relax, and that's just that, you know. So we go find a town with 3 waterfalls. Not 2, not 4. 3 waterfalls exactly. So yeah. But overall, I mean, it's a solid episode. I mean, that's the thing, is this show, it's still good, you know? It's still good. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, when I've originally watched these first 2 seasons, I was kind of blown away by it, but now as time has gone on, I've seen better stuff, you know? I've seen plenty of better stuff than Stranger Things, but I've also seen plenty of worse stuff than Stranger Things, so that is something. It's good. Like I said, I do enjoy the show. I enjoyed this. It's just kind of all the talk surrounding Stranger Things that I just am kind of tired of. And that's also funny, too, because, I mean, this came out and nobody talked about it once it came out. Like, everyone was talking about beforehand, pretty much talking about being sassy about, you know, all the stuff the Duffer Brothers were saying, like, oh yeah, we want like 3 or 4 years between seasons, and people were like, don't do this, shut up, you know, you just make a good friggin' show and put it out, for God's sake, you know. But people were talking about that beforehand. But yeah, once this season, like once these first 4 episodes dropped, I've heard nobody talk about this show whatsoever, and that's kind of crazy. Like, I've had to listen for 2 months to My Hero Academia fans talk about, you know, the final season, but not a single peep out of people talking about Stranger Things. So I don't know. I find that funny. I find that ironic. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Decent enough discussion. I have to figure out a transition between episodes. I have no idea. I'll think of something. I'll think of something cool to put up on screen. So let's get moving to episode 2.